What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Ben the Jeep Guy. I'm your host, you guessed it, or you've been watching long enough, I'm Ben the Jeep Guy. Today we're going to do a quick little project on the WJ here. I recently figured out that the check engine light is actually on, but I didn't know that until I hooked up my scanner because the light on the dash, the bulb burned out. So I figured if I got to replace one bulb, why not replace them all to LEDs and I never have to worry about it again. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to pull the gauge cluster out. We're going to swap all the indicator bulbs out to LEDs. And in fact, it's such an easy project. I have a special guest back on the show with me by popular demand, Mrs. Jeep Guy.
Hey guys.
She's back. So I figure if it's her vehicle and it's a pretty easy project, why not bring her in to do this project with me? Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, so why don't we get in there and see what it takes to get this done. Let's go. All right, so the first thing you want to do in this project is you want to be able to take a picture of all the indicator lamps lit up on your dash, because every Jeep's going to be a little bit different over the different years and also different models because different equipment. So you just want to make sure that all of your lights, when you put the new bulbs in, you can keep track of which one are lighting up and which one aren't, because you can actually reverse the polarity of the LED and it won't light up when you get done. So the first thing you want to do, turn that key, take a quick picture with all the indicator lamps lit up. Not starting the engine, just in the on position. Amanda, you got your camera ready?
Yes.
All right, so let's get that taken care of. All right, now that we've got our picture taken of all the different indicator lights lit up, we can move on to removing the gauge cluster itself.
All right, first we want to remove this lower plastic bezel that's hiding the lower two screws holding in the gauge cluster. Once you have those two screws removed, there are two upper screws that need to be removed and the gauge cluster will pop right out. Behind the gauge cluster there is a single electrical connector that is easy to remove and the gauge cluster can be pulled out of the way. Alright, with the gauges out, we decided to take them inside and set them on the table to perform the rest of the operation. This is a really good idea and I highly recommend it so you don't lose track of any of the smaller parts and pieces during the course of the procedure. To get the bulb holders out, it's best to use a set of needle nose pliers and turn in a counterclockwise rotation. It doesn't turn very far, you'll be able to feel the click and it will pull right out. When you're putting them back, make sure to turn it in a clockwise rotation and apply just a little bit of pressure so that the bulb holder will properly seat. Now you're just going to repeat the same process several more times until all the bulbs in the gauge cluster are replaced. One thing you will notice about our installation is we didn't replace any of the bulbs for the backlighting of the gauges themselves. That's because our Jeep was equipped with the electroluminescent gauges available on all Limited and Overland model WJs after 2001. This style of gauge does not have a bulb that backlights the gauge face, so we did not have to replace those bulbs on ours. Now once you have finished installing all of your bulbs, head back out to the Jeep and temporarily plug it in. You will turn the key to the accessory on position just like we did in the beginning, and you will compare all the indicator lamps lighting up to the ones in the photo you took at the beginning. If any of the indicator lamps do not light up, you will need to pull that bulb back out and you will have to flip it around and put it back in because the polarity was reversed. We actually had a few of our own that didn't get put in the right way, so don't be discouraged if you have to pull some out. It happens to all of us. Once you have flipped all the bulbs around that didn't initially light up, plug the gauge cluster back in temporarily and check again. If they light up, you're good to go for final installation, which is just the reverse procedure of the removal process that we did in the beginning.
Got that one? Good. And we got a good one.
All right, guys, that's it. We're done. Amanda, are all your lights working?
They're all working 100%. Only casualty today was my thumb.
And we'll take care of that in a little bit. Now, guys, today, this project was not very hard. Mrs. Jeep Guy was able to knock it out in about an hour with very little instruction from me, so don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Today's project, we used PC74 bulbs, but our bulbs came with new bulb holders and they weren't the right size for our WJ project, so we actually had to reuse the factory incandescent bulb holders that came in the WJ.
And that's how I hurt my thumb, pulling those bulbs out.
And we got a Band-Aid waiting inside for you, hon. All right, guys, now don't forget to hit that subscribe button below.
Give us 2 thumbs up.
And until next time,
Keep Jeeping.